Three Fort Music Fest is almost here. The festival will take over downtown from March 20th to the 24th. Come discover hundreds of bands with me. I bet you'll find a bunch of new faves. Think of it as a real-life playlist from your coolest friend. 5-day passes start at $295, but it's not just about the music. From beer to comedy to food and tech, there's lots to explore. Check out the lineup and snag your ticket today at treefortmusicfest.com. Today on CityCast Boise, February can be cabin fever month, especially for young families. But Becca Bailey from Boise with Kids is here to help. She shares the best indoor play places, budget-friendly cold weather fun, and free winter scavenger hunts she's discovered while running her newsletter and website. It's Tuesday, February 6th. I'm Frankie Barnhill, and this is what Boise's talking about. Becca, thanks so much for coming on CityCast Boise.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, so you're really busy because you're a mom of 3 boys, as I understand it, ages 3, 6, and 8?
Yep, that's right. Yep.
Okay.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yep.
How is winter going for them? Do they have cabin fever yet?
I definitely do. That's for sure. It's just been long and dark and dreary. And I've definitely heard that from my audience as well, that it's a hard time for everyone and especially with kids. So yeah, it's been rough.
Well, one way to get through it, I understand, for Treasure Valley families is to use your website, which is very simply called Boise with Kids. I understand you started it in 2022 after moving here the year before. Why? Why start this? And it's obviously Instagram and everything too. So was there really nothing like this when you arrived, or are you kind of entering a field where there's, a few other players, or why start this, I guess?
Yeah, a big piece of it was trying to build connections. I grew up in the Midwest and we moved to Pocatello actually in 2019 for a job for my husband. It was very random. We had only been to Pocatello once. And as soon as we got there, I was like, okay, like I'm a stay-at-home mom now. Like, where do I take my kids? What do I do? Like, where do I go grocery shopping? Like, where do we sign up the kids for soccer? I mean, I knew nobody and I knew nothing. So, like most millennials, I turned to the internet. So I went and tried to find like Facebook groups that were mom groups and stuff. But we moved to Boise. And again, I didn't know anybody, didn't have anyone to go ask for things. And so, yeah, I had some experience in kind of mom communities and a little bit of social media experience. And I found something similar like this out of state. And I was like, I want to do something like this. This would be so helpful for me as someone new to the area, but also for so many local parents. So yeah, just kind of kickstarted it with the website and tried to kind of start off kind of like a blog, not really necessarily like blogging about my life or really like the mom blog world, but more of that just like, when you have a question, you can like turn to a friend and get a recommendation or get the information. So pretty straightforward of just like, try this, go here, here's the link, here's the address, like go for it. So it's kind of grown and grown, but there's clearly a need for it across the Treasure Valley. There really isn't necessarily something so specific to families where you can get all the information kind of in one spot. So it's exciting.
Yeah, it seems like a resource. I'm full disclosure. I'm not a parent, but I'm a pet parent. And I'm like, this is a great resource I could imagine for someone, especially as you mentioned, like if you've moved to the Treasure Valley, which so many people have moved here in the last 5 years or so. And if they're not coming with family or for family, and they're trying to set down roots on their own and create a community around them, where do they go? Well, yeah, this seems like a really smart way to start that. Okay, so in the winter, the weather, obviously, it can be rough. So for folks who are looking for, ways to get their kids outside, get away from the screens, whatever, what are your favorite places to take them that isn't your home, but is indoors? So like spots that are indoors, but yeah, will get your kids entertained and hopefully maybe a little tired out by the end of the day.
When I was a stay-at-home mom, full-time with little kids, by 10 a.m., if we did not leave the house, like one of us was going to have a giant meltdown. And
Could have been you, could have been them. Yeah.
oh, 100%, or all of us
Yeah.
at the same time,
Yeah.
But, I found us like often running errands, like, let's just go to Target. I need one thing, but like, we'll just walk around, because it was like just getting that change of scenery was just so important. But oftentimes it ends up, kind of like making you spend money, like, oh, let's go get a donut or let's go get a coffee. Yeah, I definitely have come to find many more opportunities and ideas for ways to not necessarily just go spend money. But I really like all of the museums in our area. I feel like we have a good variety of different ones. One of my family's favorites, which I feel like is kind of a hidden gem for families, is the Idaho State Museum.
Mm.
They have a whole level downstairs that is great for kids. A lot of hands-on building, a lot of different activities that you can do just for kids. The Discovery Center is one that my family were members there. So that's a great one to go see their rotating exhibits, but then they also have a lot of really great hands-on activities, kind of STEM related activities and stuff for all ages. They have a whole area that's like just for toddlers. So if you have little kids that obviously like, science and technology is going over their head, it's still a great place to go hang out. And then we also have the Children's Museum, which is out in Meridian. I think it's a really wonderful museum, and my kids of all those ages, I feel like, still have a really good time. So definitely a lot of museums. I think it's a great place to go. And especially if you have a membership, it kind of feels like it's a free outing,
Yeah.
And if your kid has a meltdown or a blowout in the middle of your trip, you can leave and not feel bad. Like, oh, okay, well, that wasn't worth our money. You kind of get the most bang for your buck. So
Yeah.
I definitely recommend a lot of memberships. I think we have a lot of great places to do that. We also have a decent amount of just like indoor play places. Have you heard of Jabbers? So
No.
Jabbers is out in Nampa, and it's a play cafe. So it's like honestly half cafe, where they have sandwiches and coffee and different things, and then also an indoor play place. So I think it's wonderful. My kids are finally at that age where I can go and like get a coffee, bring my computer, and they just like are off and running, and I get to just kind of sit and chill and hang out. So that one's one of my favorites. There's something similar in Boise, kind of over by Costco, called Planet Kid. That's another just like giant indoor play place, kind of like, one of those McDonald's play places on steroids.
Oh my gosh, yes.
The tunnels and exactly, the ball pits. Another great spot. And they also have a cafe there. So they're really, catering to both parents and caregivers and to the kids. So there's something for everyone with those. And yeah, there's trampoline parks. There's a few all across the Treasure Valley. So those are always a good way to wear your kids out and get all those wiggles out by having them go bounce around. So yeah, lots of really good indoor spots to go to if you're not eager to get outside into the cold, if you're not maybe into skiing or sledding, or, if you don't have snow, but it's still just dreary and rainy and whatever, there's lots of really great options.
Yeah, and it sounds like spread out across the valley, like they're not all in Meridian or
Totally.
all in West Boise or something like that. Like there's some options across the city.
Yeah.
The Idaho State Museum one, I'm thinking about this more. I'm like, I want to go and look at it through the kids' eyes, because I go, looking at like these really serious like historical exhibits as an adult, but now I want to go and think about what it would be like to be a kid there. So
yeah, and they have a family Saturday. I can't remember exactly what Saturday is, but they always have a family day where specifically they're catering whatever topic it is, like, to younger families. So a lot of great ways that they really involve families.
There's a big difference between talking and reporting, especially right now with a fire hose worth of news coming your way. You know what helps? Having reporters in the field. I'm Brad Milkey from ABC News, and that's what we've got on ABC's daily podcast, Start Here. Every morning, Start Here takes you across the country and around the world for a quick, smart look at the stories that matter. It's fast, it's straightforward, and sometimes, gasp, news can even be fun. So let's meet up tomorrow morning. Listen to Start Here wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, let's be real, though, as you kind of mentioned. I mean, raising kids isn't cheap, and outings aren't always cheap, and certainly aren't always free. What are some family-friendly activities you can recommend for people who are just really on a budget, who are really trying to stretch the dollars but still make sure that their kids are having an enriching, good time?
So yeah, I have one blog post that I wrote a couple years ago up on BoiseWithKids.com that's like 15 free things to do in Boise with kids. And it is continually one of the most visited pages. So I think that people are finding that because they're searching free things to do in Boise with kids, you know?
I believe it. That's good SEO.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I did that well. That's one I figured
Yeah.
out. But yeah, a couple of my favorites are, I really love our downtown. I've lived all over the country. I've traveled all over the world. And I just feel like Boise's downtown just like has it going on. It is clean. It is safe. It's always popping in the middle of the day, in the evenings, on the weekends. I just absolutely love it down there. So one of our favorite places is Freak Alley. So walking down that area, it's fun for kids to be able to look at all the different art along the walls.
It's so colorful.
It is. It's one of my favorite backdrops for photos, that's for sure. But a couple of years ago, I actually created a little scavenger hunt, like a photo scavenger hunt for kids for Freak Alley. So we were there one time and we just started like posing like some of the art on the wall. And I was like, this is kind of fun. Like we should make this a scavenger hunt. It's like find this one and then like take a picture next to it, like doing the same thing. So that's super fun. I really love Freak Alley for that. And it's a great one for kind of all weather. We've gone in the winter all bundled up and we've
Sure.
gone, in the summer or spring or whatever. So Freak Alley is fun. I think just walking around downtown is great. You can actually just go into the Capitol and walk around. They have a lot of interactive
Great
exhibits
point.
down there,
Yeah.
which I think is a really unique thing. We're lucky to live in, the capital city of our state. And so I think it's pretty cool that it's open to the public and that they do have stuff for kids there. So if you're downtown, that's another great spot. I also just, we love just getting out for walks and going along the green belt. I just feel like the green belt I don't think it's underrated because I think people absolutely love it, but I just think it's one of the coolest parts of Boise. And there are so many really fun areas that are great and easy access for families to just hop on with their bikes or trikes or strollers. And then our parks are amazing. I know it's like not necessarily super park weather right now, but like we have so many parks across the Treasure Valley that are so good for all ages. And they're clean and well kept. I'm the biggest fan of our parks and recreation. My friend Holly, who runs an account called All Weather Adventuring on Instagram, she and I actually paired up this summer and put together our 20 top favorite playgrounds across the Treasure Valley. So parks that have an actual
Nice.
playground structure.
Uh-huh.
And it was such a hit. There's just so many, which is a really great free activity. And then last but not least, I just have to mention our libraries too. I feel like a library is just so much more than just books. I went on Friday with my 3-year-old and we just went and just played and he just was so happy. And I, got to interact with other kids. They have all kinds of games and activities, so many great resources, story time, Lego club. I mean, there's so much going on at our public libraries and they're all free, which is amazing. So yeah, I could go on and on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, exactly. That's why we're having you on. Do you have a favorite library or do your kids have a favorite library that they like to go?
I really do love them all, but I think the downtown library is my favorite for the kids area. It's just so big, and there's so many fun activities for kids to do. And I just love being downtown. It's right on the Greenbelt. I mean, it checks a lot of fun boxes for me, but I also really love the Garden City Library. Their tagline is "Not a Quiet Library," and I just think that is such a welcoming and awesome way to approach the library, especially when you have kids and you're like, why would I go to a library? I would just have to like shush them. It's like, no, come, enjoy. It's not a quiet space. Like this is a place for community to gather. So I just really love that as well.
Nice. Okay, if you're unable to get out of the house or maybe you have really young kids or whatever, you just don't feel like packing up, what are some kind of at-home activities or games that your kids like to play that you would recommend people think about?
Yeah, we do a lot of screen time at our house.
Totally fair.
No, I'm kidding.
I do a lot of screen time as an adult. So, I mean.
I know, right? Oh, man. And those snow days, I was just like, you guys, I don't even care. I got stuff I got to get done. Like, no, but beyond screen time, one of my favorite things to do, we just got actually for Christmas is like this indoor scavenger hunt, like deck of cards. And my kids have really enjoyed doing that and this is something that like, before I even had this little deck of cards, it was something that I used to do with my kids when they were young. It's like, let me like draw out like a scavenger hunt. So if they can't read, I would like draw like a shirt and be like, go find a red shirt or like, a crayon or something cold or something just to give them, moving around and engaging with our house and not
Yeah.
have anything, not have to buy anything or leave the house. So my friend that I mentioned earlier, Holly of All Weather Adventures, she has a scratch off book
Hmm.
with different adventures to kind of get you outside. So regardless of the weather, whether it's, snowy or sunny or whatever, she's got fun activities and stuff for that. But yeah, I mean, obviously there's, I'll read your library books. There's
Yeah.
coloring and Play-Doh and kinetic sand and, all kinds of fun ways to grow and play while you're stuck inside.
Yeah. And I think at the Boise Library, their digital resources too, I know are pretty robust too. So,
Yes, and a lot
yeah.
of them have like lending libraries too, where you can
Right.
borrow a puzzle or a game
Nice.
or, a math game or something. I mean, there's a lot of like homeschool resources, outdoor resources, a lot of fun things you can just borrow from the library. So yeah.
What about, I know this can be fraught for parents, kids and restaurants. Any recommendations, kid-friendly restaurants?
Actually am just now putting together a guide to family-friendly restaurants across the Treasure Valley.
Oh,
So kind of a
okay.
short list of places that have a great kids menu or have high chairs. They have an ambiance that's, an environment that's welcoming to families. They might have good entertainment. They have changing tables in the bathrooms. A lot of those things where they are really open to and welcoming to families, because it can absolutely be very stressful to go out to eat. One, it's an expense, obviously, but two, it's like my kid's going to act up, they're going to scream, or they're going to whatever, and will
Right.
that be,
Are people at the other tables going to glare at us?
exactly.
So this new guide, I'm sure everybody is already enjoying it, but tell us a couple of specifics.
Yeah, for sure. It's hard for us to go out to eat. I've got 3 kids. It gets expensive. They get picky. But, one winner is definitely always pizza. So we have a couple different pizza places. Zeke's Pizza is out in Meridian. We've got Coned Pizza, which if you've never had that, it's shaped like an ice cream cone, but filled with pizza ingredients made out of a pizza crust. And then we've got some sweet things as well, like Guru Donuts, which is one of our favorites.
Nice.
My son actually and my mother-in-law just went to, they have a Tasty Tales kind of reading, like a story time with
fun.
rediscovered books. And then Blue Cow Frozen Yogurt. That's my kid's absolute go-to favorite place.
Where's
That's
that
a really
one?
fun one. It's more like East Boise off of Apple.
Okay.
And that's a great one for families because it is, again, so welcoming to families. They've got games, coloring. You get to pick your own toppings. So like everyone's going to make their own creation that they love. So that one's definitely a win for all of us. But yeah, there's a couple more. You'll have to go check it out.
Oh, wow. Okay, great. Another good resource you're putting together, Becca.
Thanks.
So before the winter comes to an end, which maybe you're looking forward to it, I don't know. What's on your winter bucket list? Like any things you would really love to do with your family before the season ends?
I am not a skier or a snowboarder. I am very scared of it. I'm too scared to try. But my husband and my oldest are. So they really love going up to Bogus Basin. They go pretty much every weekend. But it's an area that I feel like I was very intimidated going to a ski resort at all, because I don't ski. And I was like, oh, everyone's just gonna be looking at me like, what are you doing here? But then after I went with them multiple times, I was like, oh, like nobody cares that I'm here. And also
Totally.
It's free to come here. Like you can just come and people watch, or just be outside on the patio, or in the summertime, it's another great place to be, just to be able to go for a hike, to do a lot of their summer activities. So we definitely love and I would encourage everyone to get up to Bogus. The views are amazing. It's just such a great part of our community. And then if it snows again, I put together a list of the most recommended sledding spots. So that was really fun when we had those snow days. And then we love every winter, taking at least one kind of Idaho day trip or weekend trip. So heading up to McCall, heading up to Donnelly. I'm about to go on my first ever yurt trip to Idaho City.
Fun.
We've been to, last winter, we went to Sun Valley for a weekend and kind of explored there. So I got a whole post on exploring Sun Valley during the winter with kids. So it's not necessarily my favorite. I'm not a super cold weather gal, but there are lots of ways to make it really enjoyable with kids. So
how do you feel about Boise's family friendliness? Boise gets tossed around on a lot of national lists for being a place that's really kid friendly, a great place to raise kids. What do you think?
Yeah, I really do think that it is. I mean, for our family, it checks a lot of boxes. You know, we've lived in larger cities, we've lived in smaller places, and I just feel like for us, it's very approachable. It doesn't take too long to get different places. Everything that we'd be interested in getting our kids involved in, soccer, football, piano lessons, getting them to concerts and art events, getting them outside. We've got all of that. We've got all of that. It checks all those boxes. In the summertime, I feel like there's a lot of great programming for kids as well. So yeah, for us, it's a dream come true.
Well, thanks so much, Becca, for all these great winter activities for kids and families to check out. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thanks for having me.
All right, that's all for today here on CityCast Boise. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to subscribe to our free Hey Boise newsletter. Every weekday, we publish news and events to keep you connected to the city. We'll be back tomorrow morning with some Valentine's Day inspo. See you then.